Hi, my name's William and I'm from Planum, and we've been talking about veggie gardens in the last month or two. Now we're up to watering, and so yes, we've got a couple of options for watering. We can hand water, which is pretty much the most common one and easy to do, and it's very cost effective. So the other option is to use a automated or semi-automated watering system, and what I've set up on mine is a small drip system, and we can plug it use it off the tap. So just plug the hose into it, set up a timer so that you turn the timer on for a set amount of time, and then it waters the veggie garden while you're doing something else. And what I've got together is I've put a little bit of an idea of what a kit would look like if you wanted to do it yourself. And so we've got our irrigation, our drip line. So this is a meter drip. We've got different fittings, a filter, a tap timer, and clips and some pipe. So all of this will go together to make up a drip system that'll water a certain size garden bed for you. With the filter, we've got a restricting valve, so this will actually slow the water pressure down so that when you plug your hose in it, it's not going to blow everything apart. So when you look at the filters, don't know if you can see it there, but it's got a little arrow on it. That's your direction of your flow. So the water's going to come from this side, go through that way, down through the filter, then back up and go out. So we need to make sure that we're putting our pressure restrictor, and the same thing with it, it's got an arrow which way the water goes, so that's got to go on the upstream side, on the pressure side. Normally we'd put some thread tape on these. We're using the pink tape. It's a little bit thicker, so you don't need to put on quite as much, but just hold it like that with your thumb and just go around, and we'll probably go around about 6 times. Arrow pointing in the right direction. So the water's going that way. And then we put our elbow on. And then we can put our fitting on to plug our hose on. It's quite loose on the thread, so you're going to need to put quite a little bit of thread tape on it, because you don't want it to go in past there, otherwise the hose won't click onto it. Then on the other end we've got a bush, and then we've got a takeoff or a director for our poly, and so our poly pipe goes onto that like so, and then we've got these clips to hold it all together. So here we've got a T-piece with a director screwed into it, and so the idea with this is where your pipe fits on, but you can see we've put some thread tape on there, and that's to give it a good seal. If we don't put the tape on there, it'll waste a lot of water, and you'll end up with a real wet spot at the end where the manifold goes across. And the manifold is made up of a series of these all put together with some pipe. Now we use pipe cutters like these, but you can use anything that'll cut the poly, so even just a sharp knife will be fine. For a garden that's 1200 wide, they're probably going to be about 250 to 300 in between, so then you just join them on with your plastic clips, and you put a clip on and hold it up. Now you might want to use some multis just to tighten it up a little bit more. And then you put another T-piece in with another director until you get to the end, and you put an elbow in the end, and then go across the other way and have another elbow on the other side. So and then you run the drip line through to the other end. So you'd have 2 manifolds one on either end, one with the water coming in and one where it finishes off. Giving you a bit of a demo on how it goes together, and this is what it's going to look like when it's put together and you've got your manifold made up. As you can see, we've got our hose going onto here through this fitting, so I haven't come out too far with it. I put plenty of tape on it, so that clicks on. You can still get it to click on and got some clearance through the elbow, through the pressure restrictor, through the filter, then director down into our pipe, and then we've got an elbow that feeds the water across our manifold and through to each drip line. So this end here is the actual finish. So we just push these back in together, Right, try and make these sort of all the same angle, so straight. These are stainless steel clips, but like I said, we've just used plastic clips for the kit because it's easy to use. What I've tried to do is set this out so we've got about a 200 gap in between each line, and we try and plant the veggies pretty close to where the watering line is, so the water gets close to the plants when you turn it on. So the reason for setting up and then putting it underneath the mulch is that you know the water's going to get down into the root zone, and with most of your plants, the less water that you put on the leaves, the less disease you're going to harbour, so the plants will be a lot healthier. These have been planted about a week and they're doing okay considering they haven't had too much TLC. We just turn the water on and let them go. So what survives grows, what doesn't, we'll worry about that then.